Can you guys believe it? It's the AFC and NFC championship games already. I am so excited to watch them. They're going to be great games. I went 3 for 4 last week. I had the Patriots. I had the Vikings. I had the Jaguars winning. I had the Eagles losing. But, I mean, come on. 3 out of 4 ain't too bad. So, you got to give me that at least. I had the Jaguars beating the Steelers, and I really did believe they were going to beat them. And they did. Whoever put money on that, which I did not, but whoever did, congratulations to you guys, because they were like 7.5-point underdogs. Anyway, here are my AFC and NFC championship picks. I hope you guys enjoy them. The first game I'm going to go over is the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the AFC championship game. I am so excited for this game. And you got New England, who does not lose at home really in the playoffs. They've lost a very little amount of time when Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were head coach and quarterback. So it's going to be a really tough hill to climb. You got Jacksonville coming in as a 7.5-point underdog. They were a 9-point underdog when the line opened. Vegas said, we don't believe in Blake Bortles. We said they were minus 7.5, I think, against the Steelers. Now they're minus 9 against the Patriots. They still are going by that thinking. They're sticking with their guns, and trust me, it's the right thing to do. But now the line has moved down because the big money has gone on the Jacksonville Jaguars minus 9, and Vegas would be stupid not to move it. So, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the New England Patriots. They're the most well-rounded team in the NFL. They're probably the best team in the NFL. And if you look at them, this is one of the worst teams they've had in the playoffs over recent memory. Still a great team, still, in my opinion, the Super Bowl favorites. But what teams have beaten them in the past? I'm not going to name all of them because I can't remember all of them, and I know there hasn't been many in the playoffs. But let's name them. You have 2010 Jets with Mark Sanchez as the quarterback, so he is definitely suspect. You got the running back in Thomas Jones, who was a pretty darn good running back. You had a decent offensive line, Nick Mangold, Rickershaw Ferguson, great offensive linemen. You had a great defense, Bart Scott, Darrelle Revis, establishing himself as probably the second best cornerback of all time behind Deion Sanders. And they won against them. Well, okay, fine. Then you had the Giants. Well, the Giants in 2008, which they didn't have a great run game during the season, but they had a great run game in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. So, good run game. One really good receiver. You had Eli Manning, who I call a bit suspect. He did win 2 championships, so he is going to probably be a Hall of Famer. But he's not like a top tier quarterback. So he's an okay to really good quarterback. Probably a Hall of Famer because of those 2 Super Bowls. But fine. He had some miraculous plays. But they had a great defense with Mike Strahan and O.C. Umenyiora. Okay. Great defense. Good run game again. Jets had a great defense. Good run game. Okay. You had the Giants in 2011. Great defense, good run game, one really good receiver. Okay. You had, in the recent memory, the last time they lost was against the Denver Broncos, which I know was in Denver, but they were one of the best defenses of all time. You had a really suspect Peyton Manning who got carried, who could barely throw the ball more than 25 yards that season playing. And you had a good run game with C.J. Anderson. So, good run game. 2 pretty good receivers, Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, but again, he couldn't really throw the ball that much, and you had an unbelievable defense. Well, what do the Jaguars have? They have Leonard Fournette, who's a freaking beast. You have T.J. Yeldon, who's great at catching the ball out of the backfield. You have one pretty good receiver. You got a suspect quarterback, and you have a great defense. Well, I'm picking the Jaguars to win this game. I'm not drinking any Kool-Aid with the Jaguars. I'm just going by the pattern of when the Patriots lose. And I know I just covered my face, which is pretty bad for my video, but whatever. We're going to go with the flow here. Anyway, the Jaguars are an awesome defense. I know they let up 42 points against the Steelers, but the Steelers are a better offense, in my opinion, than the Patriots, and they play a lot different of an offense. They play a high-powered, high-flying offense. I know the Jaguars are going to have a really hard time guarding Gronkowski. This is going to be a game where if they hold the Patriots to 24 points, they'll win 27-24. So that's what I believe is going to happen. They're going to hold the Patriots to 24 points by running the ball with Leonard Fournette and by doing play-action fakes and keeping the defense on their heels and having the defense on the field stopping Tom Brady. He's going to have not a lot of possessions because The Jaguars are going to be able to run the ball and keep the clock running. And the Jaguars are going to win that game because of that. The game is going to be 27-24 Jaguars. I'd take them against the spread, -7.5, obviously. Well, plus 7.5. And I might even take them straight up. I think they're definitely going to win this game. Now, am I going to be surprised if the Patriots win? No, absolutely not. The Patriots are an unbelievable team. I have the utmost respect for Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, what they have done. But I'm just going by the pattern I see, and I think the Jaguars have the right team to win. And the last game I'm going to go over, the second game, the NFC Championship game, is the Vikings going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Vikings are one game away from history. They could be the first team in NFL history to host the Super Bowl and play in it. That would be unbelievable. I'm totally rooting for the Vikings because I totally want to see that in my lifetime, even though I'm still a young man. It hasn't been done yet. So totally want to see that. And you have the Eagles with Nick Foles as their quarterback, who had a -2.5 turnover ratio last week versus the Atlanta Falcons. It's just Atlanta, like I told you, was discombobulated all year on offense without their offensive coordinator, who's now the head coach in San Francisco. So they're going to need some time to reacclimate. Maybe they'll be much better next year when they have this guy again for next year. Anyway, back to the game. You have the Eagles with a great defense, good offensive line, with Lane Johnson as their main guy. Got Nick Foles. You got some decent wide receivers and running backs. It's a decent team. It's a pretty good team. Versus the Vikings, who have a great defense, the #1 defense in all of the NFL, even above the Jaguars. You got Case Keenum, who pretty much had the same numbers as Drew Brees this year. I'm pretty sure Case Keenum had 21 touchdowns and 7 interceptions this season, and Drew Brees had 22 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and that's not downplaying Drew Brees this season. That's totally making Case Keenum look better. I'm not trying to diss Drew Brees here. Case Keenum has been great this year, and if he goes to the Super Bowl, the Vikings would be crazy not to re-sign him to a big deal. $13, $14 million a year, $12 million. Nah, more like $12 million a year. So, who am I going to pick? Well, I'm going to pick the Vikings to win this game because Case Keenum is better than Nick Foles. The wide receivers for the Vikings and Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs is better than the Eagles have. You got the running backs who are a little better for the Eagles, but you're not really going to see a lot of running in this game, in my opinion. So the wide receivers are the main keys to this game, and then the defenses are the main key, which the Vikings have a better defense. So the Vikings have a better offense and have a better defense. I know they're playing in Philadelphia. I know Philadelphia is a 3-point favorite, but you have, I'm sorry, I just looked over because Philadelphia is not a 3-point favorite. Minnesota is the 3-point favorite, which makes sense because they are a better team all around. Now, this could be what you would call a trap game in the middle of the season because they should win. They're one game away from the big game. They might be thinking about it in the Vikings, and the Eagles might take advantage of that. I think the Vikings won't fall into that trap. They're a better team. They're on a high after winning last week. They will drive that momentum from that huge play by Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs at the end of the game last week and win this game by more than 3 points. I think they win this game by more than 10 points. If the Minnesota Vikings go to Philadelphia, winning this game, flying back to Minnesota to get ready for the Super Bowl, and you could put that in your checkbook because I'd bet on this game if I were you because Minnesota is just that much better of a team. All right, those are my NFC and AFC selections. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to comment and let me know how wrong I was, comment below. Subscribe below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great AFC and NFC championship weekend.